Good morning. Second year Bcom computer applications, so, semester 4 web technologies. So today we continue with unit 4. So what is unit 4? Unit 4 is events and event handlers. Events and event handlers. So general information about events means what is event, what are events, how to call and how to use events, what are the different type of events, and various types of events. As we know that keyboard event, mouse event, Windows event, farm events like on abort, on click, on double click, on drag drop, on error, on force, on error, on focus, on key press, on key up, on load, on mouse, and on mouse down, on mouse up, on mouse move, on mouse out, on mouse over, on move, on rest. So there are many types of events are there. So we discuss one by one all these things. We discuss all these things one by one here today's class. So so this PPT is about DOM and events JavaScript, DOM and JavaScript, DOM and events and event handlers in JavaScript. So discuss all these things here. So here we start with this slide about JavaScript basics. So JavaScript executing in a browser. Generally JavaScript is a system independent, machine independent and operating system. So JavaScript is generally system independent, operating system independent, and hardware independent. Means it can browser independent also, means it can operating system independent, means it can run on any hardware, on any softwares, or on any browsers, on any environment, or on any some browsers like Mozilla Firefox or anything. So there is no special software or there is no special compilers or interpreters are required to run JavaScript programs. Why? Because by default
Hello, good morning, sir.
by default JavaScript programs are executed without any additional softwares or compilers or interpreters. So all the browsers, by default all the browsers have built-in JavaScript. By default all the browsers have built-in JavaScript. So the window object represents the window displaying a document. All properties are visible to all scripts. So another feature of JavaScript DOM is to access each and every part or component of a JavaScript. So what is document object model, DOM? What is document object model, or JavaScript document object model? JavaScript document object model. So DOM means JavaScript document object model. DOM levels means DOM 0, 1, 2, 3, and DOM 0 means informal early browsers. It is used in early browsers. DOM 1 means XHTML or XML structure. DOM 2 is event model, style, interface, and traversal. DOM 3 is content model, validation. DOM specifications describe an abstract model of a document. Interfaces describe methods and properties. The interfaces describe a tree structure, and different languages will bind the interfaces to specific implementations. The internal representation may not be a tree-like. So in JavaScript, data are represented as properties and operations as methods. So what is DOM? DOM is document object model. It is mainly used to get or access each and every element. It is mainly used to get or access each and every element or a part of a HTML script or HTML program or HTML page, and we can program them. We can program it, or we can program them by writing some programs by using HTML and JavaScript code. So next is example. So how to use, or how to use the structure, or what is the structure of a DOM? A DOM structure means, generally, while taking an example of, for example, if you take input type is equals to, within quotes, some text, name is equals to some address. So this is a simple component or part of a HTML page, HTML command. Like input type is equals to text means it is a text box. Input type is equals to text means it is a text box. Name is equals to address means the name of the text box is address. So that here this is the structure of a DOM, means how a DOM or a document object model structure is working, or how the structure, how the DOM is divided into. So the DOM structure for a simple document, the DOM document object model structure for a simple document. So here first in the at the top level, the document is generally a HTML page or HTML document is considered. And generally we know that HTML documents have two parts in it: head or heading section and body section. Generally the document, HTML document or any HTML page have two parts or components. First one is called as heading or header section. Second one is called as body or body section. Header section means heading section. What is heading section? Heading section contains the headings. Heading section contains the headings of a heading, all the headings. We know that generally every HTML page have different headings. Page headings like title page, title of the page, like that. So the document, the HTML page or the document is divided into, the HTML page or the given document is divided into two parts: heading section and body section. Heading section is all the heading section or all the heading part is written in head/head section, and all the body part, all the body tag of a HTML page is generally written in body/body tag. Again, heading section is we know that header section, we know that HTML page for each page 6, like that. So again it is divided into title, it is having some title, page titles. And in document section generally have body section. Documents, HTML documents or HTML pages have body section, Body sections have different commands or parts, like tables, tables. So for simple example, if you want to use a title tag, a table tag, if you want to use a table tag, for example, a table tag. Table tag is generally written in body section of a HTML page. So again, table tag have two parts, table rows, and table rows have three parts: table headings, table data, and table headings some values, table data have some values. So each and every part in a HTML page, generally the document, the data or information or the document, HTML page or HTML document is divided into a small components. HTML page or HTML page or a document is generally divided into small components. Small components or a small data into we can easily access. We can easily access each and every component, or we can easily access or get each and every tag of HTML page and each and every part of HTML page. Next is element access in JavaScript. So how to elements? What are elements? All these are elements. A table section, tr and th, td, all these are heading elements. Element, what is an element? Element is a small part, small component of a HTML page or HTML document. So element access in, so we can get or access, each and every element of a JavaScript page. We can get or access each and every page of a JavaScript page. So elements in XHTML document correspond. So objects can be. So what are, how to use elements? These elements by using, for example, forms and elements. The forms have different elements like form IDs, form names, like that. So how to use a simple example, how to use DOM or a document object model, how to use DOM or a document object models, and how to get the elements, or how to get the each and every element of a HTML page, or how to get each and every part of a HTML page or HTML document. So by simple, here we take a simple example of form tag. Here we may take a simple example of form tag. So what is a form tag? Form tag, by using form tag. So how to use form tag? Syntax is form space some action is equals to within quotes, or form space some name is equals to within quotes, and input type is equals to, next is next input tag. What is, how to use input tag? By using input tag, we may create a button here by using a simple input tag. By using input tag, we may simply here creates a button here. So input type is equals to within quotes button, input type is equals to within quotes button tag, and give a name, assign a name, push me to that button. So here we create a form also. So it is a form, and form generally have one element or one HTML button. So form slash button. So how to access this button, or how to access these elements? For example, form elements. We know that a form, HTML form, have many number of form elements or form controls, like text box controls, checkbox controls, list box controls, pop-up links, images, and submit button, radio button, list box button, checkbox button, reset buttons, text area control. So how to access, or how to get or how to access all these elements? So the input element can be referenced as the document dot forms of 0 dot elements of 0. Here document is the name of the document, the original document or original HTML page or HTML file, dot forms of 0 means first forms. Here we are using some arrays of forms. erase of form, so that forms of 0 means first form, forms of 1 means second form, like that. So document means current page dot forms of 0 means HTML form. In that elements of 0 means first element. In that elements of 0 means first element. So this is the structure. This is the structure of a HTML document or HTML page. This is the structure of using HTML. This is the syntax. This is the syntax, or this is the way how to we may get HTML elements or HTML next, using name attributes. So how to use name attributes? So all elements from the reference element, all elements, all using name attributes. So all elements from the reference element up to but not including the body must have a name attribute. So generally all the HTML, we know that all the HTML page documents, all the HTML pages or all the HTML documents or the elements controls have a some name called some name. So this violates XML. So we simply forget about ID attribute. So generally we know that all the HTML forms and HTML controls and forms and form controls have generally some names and IDs. So by using these names and IDs, we may simply write the DOM or document object models. So next we discuss about events. So DOM is also one of the setup question, document object model. All this comes under DHTML. All this comes under DHTML. So what are the DHTML? What are the different technologies used? What are the different technologies used in DHTML? Means DHTML, we know that DHTML technologies have different technologies. DHTML have different technologies like cascading style sheets or CSS or style sheets. Second one is JavaScript code or JavaScript programming. Third one is events and event handlers and event programming. Fourth one is called as placing text and graphics, and fifth one is called as DOM. DOM means document object model. Fifth one is called as document object model. Fifth one is called as document object model. So all these are the 5 technologies. All these are 5 different technologies generally used in DHTML. So next, already we discussed about events and event handling, and today we start with this PPT or this slide. So next we discuss about events and event handling. Next we discuss about events and event handling programming. So what is events? What are events? What are HTML or JavaScript events? What are JavaScript events? And what is event handling? What are JavaScript events? What are events? And what are JavaScript events? And event handling. What is event handling programming? So what are events? What are events and event handling? What do you mean by events and event handling or event handling programming? So event driven programming is a style of programming in which pieces of code, event handlers are written to be activated when certain events occurs. So generally event driven is event driven programming means generally we may access each and every page. Generally we may access each and every page of a HTML program, and we can write separate code, code for these programs and event handlers for various things. Events represents generally events represent activity in the environment, including especially user activity actions such as moving the mouse or typing on the keyboard. All these are events. So we may treat so events represent activity in the environment, including especially user actions such as moving the mouse or typing the keyboard, like that. So all these are events. Pressing some keys or releasing some keys, or pressing some keys on the mouse, clicking on a mouse, double clicking on a mouse, all these called as events. So we can of a HTML page, and we can write code by using HTML code, by using JavaScript and HTML. An event handler is a program segment designed to execute when a certain event occurs. Events are represented by JavaScript objects. So all events are generally represented by JavaScript objects. So we may continue in the next class.